Hey, fellow nerds and geeks, Aaron DeBoos here, and on this episode of the Hall H Show, we interview clay sculptor Tony Tran, aka ClayNext, at DesignerCon 2016 in Pasadena, California. We talk about a lot of random things such as Play-Doh, his Kickstarter campaign for his Tranimated bases, which can be used as a starting point to build your own clay sculptures, Dragon Ball Z, Lost, The Walking Dead, In-N-Out Burger, Hip Hop and Kanye West. We even talk about Jiro Dreams of Sushi, Ramen, Tofu, Power Rangers, Ghost in the Shell, and more. There are a few F-bombs sprinkled here and there, so be warned. We first met Tony at DesignerCon 2015 when he was still living in Philly. He has since moved to Los Angeles, and he's working hard to make his hobby into a living. He's talented, passionate, and ready to take his sculpting to the next level. Please enjoy our conversation with Tony Tran. Hey, thank you for tuning in to the Hall H Show. We are in Pasadena, California for DesignerCon. This is our second time here. And on this episode, we are joined by Tony Tran, a.k.a. ClayNext. Welcome to the show, Tony.
Hey, what's going on? Thank you for having me.
How's your DesignerCon going so far?
It's going pretty well. It's not bad. Just really tired. But it's a really good outcome overall.
Yeah, I guess you've been painting the last few days, right? Or
yeah, I'm just trying to assembling because I'm always consistently trying to come up with different ideas to make the whole experience a lot better. But it keeps pushing me back to my schedule of what I need to accomplish.
And for those who don't know, ClayNext, or Tony Tran, he's a sculptor. I was on your website a few days ago, and there's a little story about how, I guess, you got started using Play-Doh when you were a kid. Do you want to go into that a little bit?
Oh, yeah. So when I was a kid, my parents gave me Play-Doh. For some reason, I don't know why. I guess they didn't want to buy me toys as often. Mm-hmm. So they gave me Play-Doh. But before that, we made Play-Doh, actually. We made it with Kool-Aid and flour.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
Yeah. So when I was eating it, when I was playing with it, I ate it a little bit. It tasted really weird. But that habit made me, when I played with Play-Doh, I thought it was exactly going to taste like what I played with prior. Mm. So when I was making French fries, I thought it would taste like French fries, but in reality, it really didn't.
So how old were you when you started playing with Play-Doh?
I believe around 6.
Wow, that's pretty young.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's the proper age, but I guess when I see where you are right now, it's like, when you were young, that young, did you have aspirations to get into more sculpting or more advanced sculpting?
I just liked art in general.
Yeah.
The whole art thing inspired by my brother. I just turned 30 yesterday, and
Happy birthday!
Thank you, man. My brother is 40 now, so I was really close to him when I was a kid, and every time he left, he's like, if you're really quiet and I come back, I'll draw a Street Fighter character. And I'm like, okay, cool. So when he came back home, I was really quiet. And I would just watch him draw the whole time. Then I guess as time goes on, he found out that art wasn't his passion, and it just slowly faded away. But when I started to watch Simpsons, I thought it was really dope. And I always wanted to make myself a Simpson character. So I constantly recorded every episode and paused scenes that I thought was worth drawing, and had tracing paper and put it on top of the TV screen.
Oh, wow.
And trace it over it. But I only had a good, I believe, 40-second window before the pause automatically turns to play. So I had to struggle trying to rewind to get to the certain spot. But that's how it taught me how to draw faster and faster and start learning. I also learned how to draw going over a lot of Dragon Ball Z posters, like the big ones, and a lot of tracing paper. But how that transition to sculpting was, I always liked the the feeling of making a figure and the overall outcome of making it. Like you're like, oh my god, I can't believe I made this, especially at that young age, and especially it's stuff that you want but you can't get, but you have the imagination to create it yourself. So I oftentimes made my own Power Ranger toys, where the Red Ranger and the Green Ranger would fight, but as Play-Doh, it air dries, so it constantly just keeps breaking apart. And like after you punch him in the chest, it just disintegrate. Like I forgot the bad guys' names were, but the clay putties, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
But because of that, overall, I kept on making better ones and better ones as time progressed to perfect my own Power Ranger toy.
So, like, when you were younger, like, after you segued into making Power Rangers, what was like the first like sculpture that you made that was more of a higher level than the Power Rangers you made when you were a kid?
I took sculpting class in middle school. No, wait, that's high school. So before high school, I made Pokemon figures in, I believe, 7th grade. And in my locker room, it's probably like yay tall, I would have individual Pokemons out of Play-Doh that I sold during breaks in between classes.
You're an entrepreneur back then, huh?
And I used the capsules in quarter machines where you get like a button or a toy and it comes in that bubble ball?
Yeah.
Or I don't know how you call it. But I made those into Pokeballs.
Okay.
So I would put the Pokemon in it, or
smart.
Or depending on the size, like Charizard could be like up to here. But
you know what? Now that Pokemon Go is popular now, maybe we should bring those back.
Nah, it's too much, man. I think that hype died down. I was a huge fan. I mean, I was in the whole beta, then it just crashed. Yeah, but that's how I made like lunch money and stuff like that. I used to make Pokemons a lot and sell them, and I always get special requests. It's like, oh, my girlfriend's birthday's coming. Can you make me Articuno? I'm like, oh, maybe.
So at this point, what kind of material were you using?
Play-Doh.
Play-Doh.
And toothpicks.
Oh.
Because I didn't know anything about armature wiring at the time. And I didn't know anything about tools. It was all hand. It was you can tell a kid made it.
So eventually, how did you get into more of a more advanced level?
When, at the age of 25, is when I met my girlfriend from Philly, and I was in Boston. And as a graphic designer, fresh out of college, well, after like interning and finding the right gig, when I went to Philly, I was having trouble finding a full-time design job. And how I met my girlfriend is that she wanted 3 pigs. I guess in Taiwanese culture, I guess her mom said something about how it would bring her good luck for the New Year's.
Okay.
So she commissioned me to do that. And when I moved to Philly, because of her, she's like, oh, since you have all this time and you can't find a job, you might as well try to pursue this.
Obviously, when you started progressing into a more advanced level, where did you get your inspiration from, and what did you learn from? Like, what mentors did you seek out there?
I have a huge respect for Plastic Cell. They're the ones that actually found me on Instagram based on what I was creating. They're the ones that influenced me and inspired me that what they were doing, the whole movement, you can actually make a living around it. And it opened up my eyes, because before that, I was just making it as for like a hobby. But seeing how they made their company really, really interested me. And till this day, I'm like forever grateful for what they gave me. But there's a lot of artists out now that I have respect for. My friend Sean Rigaldo that was here, Gorilla, Tokenique, Mike FX, Kind Nuggets, Ryan Saboto, that's also here at DesignerCon, all 4 of them. And a bunch of other artists from Philly, Playful Gorilla, Dad's Cartoon. They were holding it down Philly. They were showing me love. It's a really cool experience now in this generation where you can actually easily conversate with like-minded people in a second. Where before it was really difficult. You had to like go out your way and like introvert trying to be extrovert, and it's just like really awkward. But I guess now it's like the time to be open about it and do what you love and there's a lot of people out there doing the same thing too. It's just a matter of you actually going out of your comfort zone and doing it.
I think it's a common theme with some people that we've had on the show, is that, going out there and pursuing your passion, but you sort of have to take that first step yourself.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah. So now that you're, making these products, I think I remember last year you had a Kickstarter going on. Would you like to talk about that?
Yeah, so I had a Kickstarter for my Tran-animated DIY base, which was an idea that I had in mind of creating 3 figures, which is basically the male, female, and the giant, which is similar to the size of Hulk. I haven't seen anything similar to that besides the male base. I haven't seen a female or bigger giant in that scale size, and I wanted to come up with a way for people to grab it and use it like myself, because it's really difficult to articulate and consistently replicate the same size over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
But the innovative way of what I wanted to do is introduce magnets where the articulation of it is all magnetized.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
After experimenting and stuff like that, now I totally squashed the idea because it's really time consuming. And the payout, it's like the overall thing is not worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's just simple, like resin back to the basics.
So I guess at the very least, it gives everybody a starting point for their own creations.
Yeah, of course. I love to see what people make. It's very inspiring that they actually were interested in the base itself.
Mm-hmm.
And the second thing is their creation of what they can make based off what I gave them. That's really awesome. Like every time, even like the littlest things, it just like touches my heart. I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe they like made that off of what I gave them. It's like it's so crazy. It's like I wish I thought of that. If I did, but they probably would have made it 10 times better because they have the sight for it, like
Mm-hmm.
the eye, and it's just how I am.
Well, I don't think your stuff is, your stuff is pretty awesome too. I mean, just
Thank
go
you.
just go to your Instagram. So everybody that's listening right now, go check out ClayNext on Instagram. And I mean, like his MF Doom piece is one of my favorites.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah, I guess that leads me to my next question. It seems like there's a huge hip hop influence on some of your most recent work. Anyway, do you want to talk about that?
Oh yeah, growing up, I always listened to hip hop and techno.
Hip hop and techno.
I guess maybe Backstreet Boys and stuff like that. But anyways, yeah, I was always into hip hop. I thought it was really cool how they have like iconic wrestling figures,
Mm-hmm.
but they never had like iconic rappers or iconic hip hop figures that you can just collect just to have.
Mm-hmm.
And I just like, why not? And when I was making, actually my first piece that I made was J. Cole. No, wait. The first piece I made was Tupac for a friend's birthday. But I didn't really take anything of it. I just made him just a commission. But the shout out to OG, he's the film director for J. Cole.
Mm-hmm.
He's the one that reached out to me and commissioned me to make J. Cole and Trey songs as a birthday gift. And after that, the whole I guess the overall outcome from the product itself inspired me to keep pushing forward and see if I can actually reach other artists as well with the talent that I have. And with that, I actually got one to Logic too. He's a rapper right now in the game. He's pretty famous. But it's really, honestly, I wouldn't imagine this when I was a kid. Like to make a figure
Mm-hmm.
for someone that you like and just to give it with ease. All you do is just hashtag someone and they'll just see it. Like before, you had to like call them or find difficult ways or like
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's really crazy.
Yeah, it's power of social media. So
I know it's so scary.
it's scary, but at the same time, it's
It's scary if you use it for bad, but it's also good if you know what you're doing.
so. What's any new projects that you're working on right now?
Right now, I have a lot of ideas in mind. My girlfriend and I have been we created a Kickstarter. It's called The Adventures of Bob and The Time Traveling Adventures of Bob.
Mm-hmm.
And the concept of the whole story is to battle obesity or defeat obesity. And it's about this little boy named Bob. He has the power to time travel on his cape. And what dictates his time traveling depends on what he eats. So if he picks up an apple, he'll see into the future of him being super skinny. If he picks up a donut, then he sees himself fat. So we illustrated a book. We walked through the storyline of what you can do, what you can't do, and we actually did the whole experiment but we read to a bunch of kids in charter schools back in Philly when we were initially doing the Kickstarter, where before we read it, we gave them the opportunity to choose an apple or a lollipop, and kids would be kids, they choose a lollipop, besides probably 4 kids that wanted apple. And afterwards, throughout reading it, we gave them a second option. It's like, you can trade in your lollipop for an apple. And I believe around 60% traded their lollipop for an apple, besides the kids that wanted both because they're crazy. There was one kid, he's like, I don't want an apple, I have a lollipop because I flossed 20 times. I was like, okay. But when they were eating a lollipop, I guess the teachers were going crazy because they were super hyper running around. So we got in trouble.
So when is this project supposed to...
So the first one did pretty well on Amazon. Right now it's still on Amazon. I'm not sure yet, but it's really successfully funded Kickstarter. Then we pushed it out on Amazon. Now we're trying to figure out or advance from it to a second book. Mm-hmm. I came up with an idea for a game similar to Temple Run, where you start off with Bob running as a little kid, but the trail would be either donuts or carrots or any organic food, and there'd be long gaps or jumps where if you keep getting donuts, it will slow down and you can't jump that high. So it influences you to get all the carrots for you to keep going forward. I mean, that's one of them. But I have so many other ideas. I have this new toy new art piece that I was drawing in college that I want to introduce in the future. So it would be my first original character. So would you consider, obviously you started drawing before you started doing sculpting. Yes.
So I guess it's only natural to start exploring other artistic endeavors aside from your sculpting. But after your sculpting, what's next? What's some upcoming projects that you have with your sculpting?
I have some more interesting pieces for the hip hop base.
Mm-hmm.
I've been promoting my new DIY, which is the illustrative base, which is more of a simplistic form human figure, more so of a chibi size. The cute manner of it seems very positive towards the creators now, since it seems like the realistic kind of intimidated people, or that's what it seemed like. And now with that new base, they have more of an open mind or more creative control over the overall aspect of it.
I think a lot has to do with the influence of Japanese manga and anime as well.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I love that whole style. It's the whole reason I started illustrating and the whole DBZ poster and all that stuff. Yeah.
Who's your favorite Dragon Ball Z character?
Majin Vegeta.
Oh wow, Majin Vegeta.
Because that's when Vegeta doesn't give a shit and he's super powerful, and he just really doesn't give a fuck. Because he's always holding back. He's like, Kakarot. Like, I want to do this. And Goku's
have you read or seen the new Dragon Ball Z Super?
I heard about it. Is that Goku? No, right?
It's Goku. It's the original people. It's like before.
Oh no. The evil one.
There is an evil Goku. Yeah.
So that's Goku.
Yeah.
I heard theories is Goten or Gohan. No, Goten because the earring. I don't know. Just
Well,
YouTube people are crazy.
Well, supposedly it might be one of the Kais or something like that.
Oh, okay.
So, not the Supreme Kai, but like his assistant or his student or something like that. He has a knack for fighting.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, I guess they go visit like a planet and they sort of see how that culture is going to be in the next, 1,000 years or something like that. And so that culture didn't really change. They were still violent. So that student of the Supreme Kai, that just made him even more adamant about destroying.
Oh wow.
So that's how I guess starts his ascent or descent into becoming evil. And supposedly the rumor is that he, for some reason or another, he takes the likeness of Goku later on in the future. So in another dimension, that's where I guess that evil Goku is, and eventually maybe they meet up with the characters that we're familiar with.
Oh wow. This is I don't know if this is like a spoiler alert, but I heard Trunks fucked him up. Is that true?
I don't know.
Trunks came back and just fucked him up or something. I don't know.
Maybe. I know he came back, but actually the evil Goku from his time messed up. He was that's the reason why Trunks escaped.
I hate time looping, man. Ever since Lost, just makes everything worse.
Yeah. There's a guy that I follow named Gary Vaynerchuk. He's a social media guy, and he's all about hustle and he says, "Stop watching Lost," because this was back in the day, because he wants to make sure that you keep on track of what your goals are.
Yeah.
So
I was watching Lost. I was really sucked in. Then up to the season 4, where I guess when they met the others, but the others were good, but they kept on screaming Kate. My brother came up to me. He's like, "You watching Lost?" I'm like, "Yeah." He went on YouTube, showed me the last episode, the last 5 minutes of the episode, and I was like, "What just happened?" He's like, "I just saved your life."
Oh.
And I was like, "Oh my god." I was like, "Wait, that happened?" He's like, "Yeah." Now imagine watching it live. I was like, "Thank you."
So what shows are you into now these days?
I've been watching Walking Dead a lot. I'm a huge Walking Dead fan.
Even after Glenn died?
Yeah. I kind of knew.
Well, yeah, I think a lot of people knew. But
I was nosy at one point. I read the spoilers, so I was aware of the fact that he was going to die after Abraham's going to die.
Mm-hmm.
So I was ready for it. But when you actually watch it, you're like, damn, that happened. It's he died. But it was weird, though, because they should have did that in the last episode for you to, mourn and, grieve for the fact. Because now it seems, really rushed. Because now it's, you watch it, right?
Yeah.
So the fact that Glenn died, then the next episode, it's the whole... What was even the second episode? I totally forgot what the second episode was. Daryl...
Oh, Daryl gets... Yeah,
No. That was... Easy Street was 4.
Oh, wait, was it Carol and...
yeah. There was the Kingdom.
Yeah.
Which makes you, forget about, them dying. Then you go back to the third episode, and it's was it Easy Street with Daryl? Then you're he's oh, yeah, he's, suffering because, he realized that Glenn died, and he's, all crying. But it was more directed towards Daryl. In the fourth episode, they didn't really do anything about Glenn. So you're just oh, Glenn died. That's it.
Oh.
And they don't even say anything about Abraham. There's no love for Abraham. What happened to Abraham?
Yeah.
Show's all messed up.
That's tough. I guess in reality, they just probably needed the money to pay for Ezekiel and Negan.
Yeah, that CGI tiger. Oh my god, so bad. It's pretty cool though, but so bad.
Oh man. So, you lived in Philly, but you grew up. Where did you grow up again?
Boston.
Boston.
Yeah.
So how did you make it to Philly?
My girlfriend.
Ah.
Like I said earlier, took the risk and just drove there and started a new life. Got out of my comfort zone. I was always adventurous in ways of just opening my eyes because I had friends in New York and Philly, so I always take the bus down there, the mega bus or boat bus. You guys have that here, right? I think so.
The boat bus?
Yeah, or the mega bus.
Oh, the one that goes into the water?
No, that's the duck boat.
Okay. Oh,
Nah, well, basically, these like buses that go from like state to state and stuff like that. You
Oh,
just
okay.
like pay like $15 or whatever.
I see. Like a Greyhound, like or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, basically.
Okay.
I guess that opened my eyes going from state to state to show me that there is more than, you know, the little bubble that I'm in. Like, there's more than just the town that I'm in. And because of that, and like the 6-hour drive from the bus to bus back, I was like, oh my God, this is pretty cool. And like, experience more new things. And then more I do it, the more I just like, I feel ready that I can do it. And I guess I just took that jump and did it.
At this rate, you're going to end up in Hawaii.
Yeah, I mean, I was there. Well, my girlfriend, our friend lives there, and we were there for I think 7 days. It's a really beautiful city.
So what made you decide to come up to LA?
It was something I wanted to do when I was in college,
Mm-hmm.
but my girlfriend. What initially started is my girlfriend. She just got her PhD,
Mm-hmm.
so she got a position in LA. So which made us do the jump.
I see.
Yeah.
So where do you see yourself in 5 years?
It's a good question. Honestly, I don't know. I didn't see myself here in 5 years ago when I was 25,
Mhm.
when I was moving to Philly. I always said that I wanted to do something I love, which is what I'm doing. I just didn't know that I'll be in LA doing it.
So I guess maybe I should get more specific. Like you, I'm a graphic designer. So are you at a crossroads where you have to decide which path you need to take, or
As in being as a graphic designer still?
yeah, versus like maybe pursuing your sculpting full time, or
Depends on what the opportunity takes me. I really do enjoy sculpting a lot.
Mhm.
I really enjoy making figures and the overall outcome. Hopefully, I get to make what I'm doing right now into actual like real profession in my own company, or have like contractors that I can get based on what I do. But for a design standpoint, I wouldn't mind being a creative director in the long run.
Mhm. So going forward, like if if I gave you $1 million, what would you do with it?
First, pay off my student loans, and actually, I don't even know. It's like you always have those ideas that you want to do something, but when you really think about it, you have to be smart about it. You can't just blow it all at once.
No, that's a good mindset to have.
Yeah, because you can have it and you can spend it in 1 second, and you realize, like, why did I do that? I'm very, very conscious on what I do. I don't know. Probably get like an In-N-Out. I don't know. Move In-N-Out to Boston or something. I don't know.
Well, Alex was telling me earlier that they're moving. They're gonna have a Shake Shack down somewhere here, maybe in San Diego.
Shake Shack's not bad. It's all right.
You'd rather have In-N-Out than Shake Shack?
Yeah, I mean, Shake Shack, all it is like a shroom burger, and like a cheeseburger and a hamburger. That's it.
Oh, crinkle cut fries. Alex said they have crinkle cut fries.
But you guys have like potato chip fries. What are you talking about? I don't know. It's all the same thing eventually at the end of the day.
How long were you in Philly?
3 years?
3 years.
Yeah.
Have you found a decent place for a Philly cheesesteak sandwich here in LA?
Oh, here?
Yeah.
No, I have not found one hoagie spot. Hoagies is what they call subs in Philly.
Uh-huh.
Actually, yeah, that's a good question. I haven't found a hoagie spot here. I haven't found a good. So there's a place in Philly called Wawa, which is basically like the elite 7-Eleven that has fresh subs
Mhm.
or hoagies, what have you, and you can order it like whenever you want, especially when you're drunk and after dark or you're just craving for one. It's really convenient. I miss that a lot because they don't have it here, and I'm sad.
I guess it's a good segue to my next question. If you could, like, have dinner with anybody, dead or alive, who would it be, and where would you eat?
Damn. I'm gonna get judged really hard, but actually, that's a good question. I really like Kanye West.
Mm-hmm.
Something about him, even though people hate him for him expressing what he says or feels like, he inspired me to speak up and be courageous to open up in what I believe in. Like, he's one of the few people that actually open up, and a lot of people hate him and ostracize him for what he says, but he's being honest with himself.
Mm-hmm.
Where I would eat, probably that most expensive sushi restaurant that was like on Netflix. What was that?
Oh,
Hero?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Jiro Dreams of Sushi.
Yeah, that place.
Little Subway place in Japan. It has three Michelin stars.
Yeah, that place.
Yeah.
That place looks amazing.
Yeah, definitely. I'd eat just the rice.
Right? I'm just being there, probably like
Yeah. Wait list is probably like 5 years.
I know. Even if I were able to talk to Kanye West, it'd probably be like 5 years later because of the waiting list there.
Maybe we should make a sculpture of him.
Yeah, I'm actually in the works of making him. I really respect him, but that's just me. I'm sure people will hate me after that.
I don't think so. So, anybody else that, like, who do you listen to when you're working?
Recently, I was listening to a lot of deep house music, mainly because the chill vibes and the instrumental. I listen to a lot of Soul Action too. I try to not let the words and just go with the rhythm of the.
I hear you.
Yeah, just jam out and just do my thing. I like nod my head a lot when I'm designing or sculpting.
Like, I'm sure you're busy because even leading up to DesignerCon, you said you've been pretty sleep deprived. How do you keep track of your schedule? What time of the day are you the most productive?
I'm really productive at night. I wake up. The good thing about it is my work is really flexible as in time. I mean, I come in at 10 because my office is actually a mile away, so I'll walk. Sometimes drive if I'm like really lazy.
I love walking.
Yeah, walking is awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, then I'll get home. Depending on like the project of the day, I'll probably get home after like 7 or 7, 8 around there and make dinner. And my girlfriend and I would eat dinner and catch up and stuff like that. She'll sleep a little early because she does the long hours.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll try to stay up until like 1 maybe. But that's a little like pushing it. I'll probably do at least like 12 realistically and just like fall asleep. But recently for DCon, I've been like haven't been sleeping and pushing 3 a.m., which I miss because working full time. When I work, it seemed, well, for me, I'm always the night owl.
Yeah.
I love working at night. Something about working at night opens me up, and I just get in like some type of like stance, or I don't know, psychotic, or I don't even know how to say it, but like some crazy vibe. I just keep on coming with all these ideas that make sense compared to waking up and like thinking about it. And like, that's pretty dumb. But at that time, you're like, oh, that's pretty good. And I think I can make it happen. And I did. With some stuff now, but.
I was looking at your Kickstarter page from last year and had a cool little video there. For those of you that I guess aren't familiar with like sculpting, can you just maybe talk a little bit about your process from initial idea to like finished product?
So first off, I did a lot of researching of the human anatomy, based off the basis and the actual functionality of trying to sculpt a human body and everything in general, because you gotta learn the history and the anatomy and all that. It took me a while. I made a lot of human errors, like the chest is too big, or the arms is like Arnold Schwarzenegger with like no leg muscle.
Mm-hmm.
But after that, I would start drawing it, try to envision what the end goal would look like. Then after that, I would start creating an armature wire based off of the illustration. So sometimes I would actually lay the paper out of the drawing and lay the armature wire on top of it, so everything's all proportionate. Then after that, I'll start bulking up the clay like it's actual body muscle. So I'll add like the chest, but in a way that actually you can see It's like a chest muscle and then the legs and the calves and different types of components that makes the human body. Once I started learning how to do that, naturally, I will start doing it without like a second nature. It took me a while to get to that certain stage too, but that's how the process went. Then I just went on this random tangent. So to make the face is like a whole new level, and you gotta learn. It's like a beast. I'm still learning how to make the eyes all proportionate.
I don't think you never stop learning.
Yeah, so there's a lot. I'm still getting there. I mean, before, well, now I'm more lenient. Before, if I didn't like it, like one slightest bit, I'll scrap it. I was like, it doesn't look like it, and I just stop, and I hate myself forever because I'm really hard on myself. I don't know why. And because of that, most of my projects wasn't moving forward because I was always stuck with myself. Like, I always wanted it to be better and better and comparing it to other people. And I'm like, oh, they're just so cool. How come I can't be like that? And then I just learned to let go because depending on what I feel, the other person, the audience can probably feel something different. They can probably feel something positive while I'm like just constantly being negative for no reason, but that's just me being hard on myself.
So after you start putting all the clay, as you said, like muscle, like what's the next step after that?
The skin, I would overlay a lightly thin layer on top of the muscle and start rubbing it out. That sounded weird. Started firming the shapes so you can create the contours of the muscle. Then after that, then you actually have the human body.
So, like how often, like after you put all that together, do you have to like let it set a certain time before you start painting, or?
Well, that's just making the actual human body. Then once I get the proportions correct, I would bake it. No, not proportions. Once I get the pose correct, is then I'll bake it into so I have a base for it. Then after that, I can start layering the clothes and the textures and work on the head in which I can create the face. It's a lot easier, or else if you don't do that, well, for me, I sometimes accidentally drop my sculptures, or it just drops because it's like top heavy, and the face will just squash. Then I have to remake the face all over again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, say the MF Doom sculpture. How long did that take from start to finish?
I squashed that 5 times because the mask didn't look right.
Yeah.
I still don't think the last mask looked right, or his proportions don't look right. And then I finally got content with it. I had another pose after I made him, and I was like, oh man, this would have been cooler, but it's too late now. Probably make another one in the future. But it took me 5 times to redo it, probably a good 2 months, like off and on, just like stuff like that.
I guess they say it takes, 10,000 hours to completely master something? Or
Yeah, I wrote that. I think you saw that, and people were saying, no, that doesn't exist, and started bashing me. I was like, I'm sorry. I mean, like you said, we're always learning, so
Right.
10,000 is just a baby step of another 10,000.
Yeah. And just imagine all those. I mean, I think the term comes from the Japanese sword makers. I think when they used to hone their skills, usually they say it took 10,000 hours to actually master, that particular skill of making a sword. So.
Yeah, to the point that you just you can just do it just naturally.
Yeah.
Just give me that. Here you go, MF Doom. In 5 seconds. You're like, oh my god, this guy's amazing. It's like, you should see my other 10,000 projects that failed.
Right, exactly. And people don't usually, they don't always consider failure is as good a teaching method as success. Maybe even more so.
Yeah, I love the fail. I love the fail because it it gives me a reality check, and it tells me what I'm doing wrong or how I can better myself. I'm always consistently bettering myself in every way. I'm always looking at old posts that I post up. It's like, wow, I came really far. Because since I'm so hard on myself, I always wanted to be better. But that's just me. But yeah, I mean, I always take time to appreciate the little things like this. Thanks again for like asking me to come out.
Oh,
Um,
no problem. I mean, for me, I've always wanted to. Well, I've been thinking about doing a podcast for a while, and when I talked to Alex about it, he was pretty supportive. And thinking back on some of the artists that we would want to potentially have on the show, when I thought about you, especially since DesignerCon was coming up, and we had met you at DesignerCon last year, so I kind of thought it'd be kind of cool to have Tony on here.
yeah, thanks, man. When I first saw you guys in the first year, the first year was. I mean, the first day was like crazy. I was having such a bad couple of days before because I was flying to Delta. Then my flight got delayed 5 times. It got pushed back so many times. And when we went to I think to JFK, we had to take a little small private plane. And for some reason, they didn't let my carry-on, so they put my carry-on underneath the plane. I don't know why. And because of that, all my sculptures broke.
Oh, man.
So I was like, oh, fuck. So because of that, I was like all bummed. But my friend Edgar, which is also here, he let me stay, and he's a really humble dude. He taught me everything from his experience and travels and stuff like that. And when I was here, as soon as I stepped into those doors, all my worries just went away. Like everything that I was sad just disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know how, why. I think overall, the fact that I'm actually here, the fact that I'm in LA the first time, the fact that, like, I'm actually making it happen, everything that I was, like, worrying about didn't make sense. It's like, why would I worry about something that I can fix over an experience that I can't believe I accomplished? And the crazy part is, as soon as I heard the announcement, it says, hello, guys, DCon just finally opened up. It's 9 a.m., blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, man, this is about to happen. And before that, a lot of people were telling me, it's like, oh, you won't sell that much because, over here, a lot of people like to buy little things. I'm like, okay, cool. Wasn't really there to sell. It was more of an experience overall, just to learn.
Yeah.
As soon as I heard that announcement, this kid, I don't even know his name, but if he ever hears this or sees this, please tag me because that dude made my day. He came in 9:01, ran up to my table, and got the big giant base because he saw it and he wanted it so bad. It was on his fucking list.
That's incredible.
He had a list and it said giant Tony Tran or
Whoa,
ClayNext. And
really?
I was like, yo, I just made my quota. After that, I was just like chilling. But he tagged me in it. But from like all the like decon events and stuff like that, I lost the feed and I couldn't get back to him. But that made my day. I was like, oh my god, I can't believe this happened. I was like, still to this day, it's like still getting me. I was like, oh my god. It's like the little things, man. It's like holy shit. It's like this happened.
Yeah, but I mean, you work toward it, so
Yeah, of course, but like some. I think it's because I'm always looking back. Like I said before, I always like went forward without appreciating things.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was always in a fast life, trying to accomplish the next goal and keep going. But now I like sit back and like be grateful and take things slower and stuff like that.
So, during the course of our conversation today, we learned that, I guess especially in your case, you took that first step. You decided to take the plunge. You learned to let go and learn from failure. What are some other lessons that you can probably give to aspiring sculptors or other artists out there who are trying to pursue their passions themselves?
This is the perfect generation to do what you like or do what you love. Like if you're in a bubble where you're the only one actually doing it, and which is what I was in, and you feel that no one out there understands you or anyone around you doesn't understand you because you have that different mentality, just keep doing it. There's other people out there that feels the same way, just don't know it yet. Also, you can do all these like little meetups and startups, drink and draw. This generation is like the easiest way to communicate with like-minded people. It was a lot tougher back in the day, but now it's like we met from DesignerCon. and just engaging. Just engage, be humble. My friend OG, the film director from J. Cole, he told me if you do good, be humble. Fuck. Damn, I forgot the quote. I just had it in my head and I just totally forgot it.
And say thank you? I don't know.
Yeah, it's like if you're nice and humble and do really good, you will go far in life.
Simple.
Yeah, and after that, it just hit me, and this is basically my motto.
It's a good motto to have.
Yeah, man.
So yeah, all you aspiring artists out there, make sure you listen to what Tony just said.
I mean, I hope I'm doing well. This is my this is all new to me. I don't know if I'm weird.
Well, weird's good, man. It's like, especially in Austin.
Yeah.
Keep Austin weird. Have you been to Austin?
No.
You should check it out. It's a pretty cool town.
Really?
Yeah. Food's good too.
I heard.
Like, have you heard of this place called Franklin's Barbecue? It's supposed to be the best place for brisket.
I think I heard that from probably BuzzFeed or something.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I was there on a bachelor party, and we went to maybe the 8th best place in Austin, and it was still phenomenal.
Damn.
Because we couldn't get into Franklin's. It was just, the line was just too long. So, yeah, I mean, Austin's a pretty sweet town.
There's so many. The food choices here is amazing.
Here in LA.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Because in Boston and in Philly, for instance, I like ramen a lot.
Uh-huh.
And over there, it's if you there's only probably not even a handful of ramen spots, and if it sucks, you're just stuck with that one ramen spot forever until you move out. Over here, if it sucks, it's okay. You can just go to another one. And hey, it's my friend Mark.
Oh.
Yeah, he's one of the ones that I respect. Yeah, if one ramen spot sucks, then you should go to another one. And then because of that, I'm spoiled. I'm getting spoiled. It's pretty bad.
Which ramen place do you go to here in LA that you like?
Sujita? I like Sujita a lot.
Sujita?
Yeah, in Sawtell.
Okay.
Yeah. Or Daikuya, depending on the line.
Uh-huh.
It was good. Not because the line made it not good, but it was pretty good.
What kind of ramen do you like? You like shoyu? You like salt?
Soy, or some type miso.
Yeah, miso.
Yeah. I like miso a lot. Miso's good.
Cool.
I like tofu. Yeah.
Oh. I think tofu gets a bad rap.
I don't know why. It's probably because they never had a good dish.
Yeah, probably.
I don't know, man. Everything's all gluten free, and I'm pretty sure they like tofu. Especially LA. LA's all weird. I went to this is a random topic. I went to a night market and they had the most craziest things, and there's all trending. Pho taco. I had a pho taco.
Uh-huh.
The fuck is it was so soggy. It was so weird. It tasted like a pho taco, but it was so fucking weird. And there was a line that was at least probably 9 trucks deep, waiting for a goddamn boba tea inside a light bulb.
Uh-huh.
It's what the fuck? It's like regular boba tea, but in a motherfucking light bulb. And grilled cheese rainbow sandwiches. You pull it apart, it's a goddamn rainbow.
Whoa.
What the fuck is going on? This place is crazy. In Boston, you can't even ask anything in Boston. It's the worst. There's no happy hour in Boston. It's illegal.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Meanwhile, over here, you got fucking rainbow grilled cheese sandwiches and shit. Sorry, it's just really random. It's just what the what?
So what are you going to do to celebrate your birthday this weekend?
I don't know. My friends came from Philly. Probably enjoy something. I don't know. Probably get something to eat. Either that or probably get back to work. Nah, I'll probably relax. I'm really tired.
I've heard you don't drink coffee.
No, I shake.
You shake?
A lot. Not shake a lot. I just get the jitters.
Oh, I see.
So I drink tea.
Drink tea.
Yeah, calms me down. Because when I'm designing, I'm in the zone. You see when I little mouse cursor, it's especially when you're because I vector a lot in Illustrator.
Yeah.
So just it's like a Richter scale. What the fuck is going on? It's supposed to be a straight line. It's all looks like a lightning bolt from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
They're like coming back, right? Like a new Power Ranger movie.
Yeah, it looks pretty dope. Do you see it?
I think I'll have to check out the trailer.
The armor is pretty cool. It looks just, looks more like aliens. They don't have the Yellow Ranger though. The Asian Ranger.
What?
She opted out. Well, they didn't opt out. I guess they opted her out or something. Yeah. It's like no more Asian Ranger anymore. I was like, what the fuck? I thought it was supposed to be the OG. I was like, what happened?
How about you see the trailer for Ghost in the Shell?
Yeah.
What do you think?
I recently just saw the movie again.
The anime?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know why they couldn't just pick
An Asian?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was talking to my girlfriend about it. She mentioned maybe because she was in Lucy, but Lucy sucked. So I don't know.
I think even in the trailer they just call her Major. They don't call her Major.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's like a whole different story. So I don't know.
Yeah. Even Bato is like not Asian.
Yeah. What the fuck? It's like they hired like F-class fucking Asian people in the background just to have Asian people in the background, but it's not really Asian movie in fucking fake Tokyo. And it's crazy because they debuted that trailer in Tokyo.
Oh, wow.
I think, yeah. And they had like a whole, like, all the costumes and stuff like that, but it's like, why? How would you be proud of this?
Yeah, Hollywood. We want our Major Kusanagi.
Yeah. I mean, there was a running joke about how Disney is making a real life Mulan, and people are like, oh, we know who Mulan's going to be. Scarlett Johansson. I was like, yo, you guys are dumb. Imagine that does happen. I'll lose my shit.
Well, at very least, I think we see more Asians in commercials these days.
Oh, you're right.
But still, Ghost in the Shell. Come on. Hopefully, when they make Macross eventually,
Did you see the live trailer for Fullmetal Alchemist?
No.
Looks pretty dope.
Yeah. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, I'll send you a link.
Okay.
It's pretty dope.
Japanese made or?
I believe so. Yes. So, there's gonna be a white person there.
So what's one thing that your fans probably don't know about you?
They don't know about me?
Yeah.
I get cold easily because LA may be a bitch. Nah, I'm afraid of heights. I was really shy. Oh, shy. I'm really shy. I'm afraid of heights. I recently just learned how to ride a bike since I got to California.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Yeah. You can judge me. I don't care. No, because when I was a kid, I was riding bikes, and when there was a time where I guess, fell off my bike or something, and a car almost hit me. And that traumatized the hell out of me. And after that, I was like, nope. So I was just like, I pegged with my friends in all different manners, like in the front, the side, the back, and I was tall, and all my friends are short as shit. So they're like, the fuck, Tony, learn how to ride a bike. I was like, no. They're like, I remember going on a bike with 4 people. 4 motherfucking people. So weird. I don't even know how we did that. It's so crazy. I bet you if we do that now, it'll probably be on like World Star Hip Hop.
So, obviously we're here at the DesignerCon with you. What other cons do you usually go to throughout the year?
I went to Anime Expo just to do research and development. I thought it was pretty cool. The whole process of actually getting my ticket was a bitch. Took me. So we got there at 12. I didn't get in till 2:30. We walked up and down this motherfucking snake maze like it was Black Friday for 2 hours. I looked at my steps on my Android, and I think I walked 13,000 steps just to get inside to the convention.
Whoa.
And everyone's like, I remember it was so funny. People were posting it on Twitter saying, I'm at Anime Expo, and people were just showing videos of outside just walking to the convention. But I definitely want to go check out San Diego Comic-Con.
Cool.
But I think that's it. I haven't really seen any other conventions that caught my eye.
You guess how many Guess how many miles I walked at Comic-Con this year for 5 days?
20?
Like 32 and a half or so.
Damn. I heard really well when I was working at Sega. I heard it's really bad, as in like it's like sardines. But I heard this year was more open. I guess.
I guess in some areas it did seem more open, but it does get a little cramped on the exhibit floor. But even if you don't manage to get a ticket for Comic-Con,
Yeah.
I recommend still going down because there's still a lot of things to do outside the convention center. There's a lot of stuff going on. A lot of the major companies they rent out the restaurants and the bars and they hold their own little events.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think Sega was hosting the after party as well.
Yeah.
When I was working there. I think it was Hard Rock Cafe or somewhere. I forgot. I thought it was pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, I definitely want to check out Complex Con.
Complex Con?
Yeah.
Where's that at?
Long Beach.
Oh.
Yeah. So but you're familiar with it.
I just saw it from friends' feeds.
It's pretty dope. It's basically like I guess a 2-day or 3-day? 3-day? It's either a weekend or a 3-day, but there's you heard Magazine Complex, right? Complex, yeah. So they have their own convention now. They have like special performance from like Big Sean, Travis Scott. I think Travis Scott was this year. Kid Cudi, yeah, Big Sean, I think. Then they had like Bape and stuff like that. But that's the type of audience that I would love to have my hip hop pieces there. Yeah.
So did you do your own video for your Kickstarter?
Yeah.
Oh, it's pretty. You did a good job. I like how it was put together.
Oh, thanks, man.
You think you should do more of them?
I dabble in After Effects and Adobe Premiere. I like to do like tutorial videos and stuff like that.
Oh, cool.
I'm just really shy in making it, but I really do love the whole creating the actual. I like the storyboard process of making a video. I like mapping that out because it's really cool to get the vision and try to make it happen. And when you do it, and you get to play around and like music cues and how everything syncs up together and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think video is probably going to be one of the next things that we're going to try and tackle. Our last podcast that we recorded a couple of weeks ago was with a person, and she's part of this mobile movie making festival. So like making movies on your mobile device.
Oh, cool.
Mobile phone. So it's kind of cool how we're talking about video right now.
Yeah.
As the next thing that we're going to try to do. So kind of cool to pick your brain about Adobe Premiere and After Effects maybe a little bit later.
Yeah, I mean, I encourage you to do it. It's a cool field. I guess it's that whole medium because you're really submersive in it because you're trying to create a theme or something that's worth catching your eye for 10 seconds because that's like the time span for people nowadays, like under 3 seconds now because of Snapchat, so bad. But you have to strategically find a good way to capture someone's eye in that 3 seconds, whether it's music or like a cool intro, stuff like that. I don't know. It's really. Then after that, you have to find a way to lead them and make them why they should keep going. I just like mapping everything out.
So, I guess what time is it? It's like 5:30. What time does the exhibit hall close? 6? Oh, should probably go in. Do you have to close up?
Oh yeah, I don't have my phone, so I need to go back to my girlfriend.
Okay, we don't want to leave her hanging. Yeah, she's manning the booth. Yeah. So I just want to take this opportunity to say thank you, Tony, for joining us on the podcast.
Oh yeah, thank you so much, man.
Yeah.
I really appreciate the overall and everything. Thank you again.
Yeah, and we'll have you on again sometime soon.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool. Hopefully, I did a good job.
Yeah, man, it's been good having you. So that's it, folks. Until next time, and make sure you guys go to Artist Alley whenever you guys are at a convention and say what's up to artists, especially ones like Tony, ClayNext. Talk to you later. Bye. Thank you so much for listening to the Hall H Show podcast. We really appreciate it. Do you have a favorite comic book or pop culture artist, writer, or other creative that you'd like to hear on the show? If so, please let us know through social media using the hashtag HallHShow. Peace, cheers, and don't forget to get your SDCC fit in. San Diego Comic-Con will be here before you know it.